Hello, my name is Gabby, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing my most anticipated books of 2021. And I know you're probably thinking, we're already a month and a half, nearly 2 months into 2021. What are you talking about? And you know, I've been meaning to film this video for a really long time. I actually filmed this video previously in January and I did not like the way that it turned out, so I'm refilming it now. And I figured, you know, it's better late than never, right? However, some of my most anticipated books of the year have already come out, and I've already read some of them, like The Soulmate Equation, Concrete Rose, and the X-Talk, which I actually all recently just read all of these for a reading vlog that I'm going to be posting hopefully sometime soon if I can get my shit together. So this video is going to include all of the other most anticipated books of the year that I have not yet read. Some of these have come out already, you know, because we are in mid-February, as I said. Most of them have not. And to be honest, some of these books I have very little knowledge about, and I'm only excited about them because it's from an author that I've previously read and enjoyed their books before. So I will leave a link down below for my Goodreads list that has all of these books mentioned on it if you would like to know more about them, because I'm going to be going through these kind of quickly because I have a lot of different books on this list. So the very first book on my most anticipated list is my #1 most anticipated book of the year, because it's Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And yes, this is like the UK version of the cover, but I saved this one because I think it's a lot more pretty than the US cover. And this one, I mean, I don't even feel like I need to explain myself for this one because Taylor Jenkins Reid is my favorite author. And this book is another like historical fiction, kind of like contemporary fiction novel from her, but it's following from the perspective of one of the husbands from Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and it's following his 4 children in Malibu in the 80s. And holy shit, I'm so excited. This one's coming out in May. I cannot wait to read this one. This next category is going to be all of the thriller or horror vibes books that I have on my most anticipated list, so I can put a timestamp that this whole section is going to be all mostly like thrillers and horror books. So if you're not interested in those, you can skip ahead to the more romance or like the lighter stuff. But the very first book on this list is probably no surprise because it's Survive the Night by Riley Sager. This one, again, Riley Sager is my favorite thriller author, so this is his 5th book that's coming out in this summer. It's coming out July 6th, it looks like. And I'm very excited about this one because it takes place in November 1991, as you can see, and it's following this girl who is this movie-obsessed college student, and she gets in the car with a man who might be a serial killer. And honestly, that's all I want to know. Like, I don't want to read this whole description because I am so excited for this. I love Riley Sager's writing, and also the fact that he's writing about a character who's movie-obsessed. Like, this sounds like it's going to be written for me, so very excited for Survive the Night. That one's also going to be a book club pick for my book club, the Book Troop, if you haven't heard. The next one is another one of my book club, Book Troop picks for this year because it's Every Vow You Break by Peter Swanson. This one's coming out March 23rd, and then I have it as the book club pick for the month of April. But this one, oh my gosh, this one sounds like it's gonna be great. I love Peter Swanson. I love his writing so much. And then this one kind of sounds like it has like the guest list vibes. It says a bride's dream honeymoon becomes a nightmare when a man with whom she's had a regrettable one-night stand shows up in this electrifying psychological thriller. So like, it sounds like it's gonna be like the guest list, but it's actually about the honeymoon as opposed to the wedding itself. But like, crazy stuff. I'm so excited for this one. And then this next book we have is A Slow Fire Burning by Paula Hawkins. This is one that I actually don't know anything about. I haven't even read the description of this, but because it's Paula Hawkins, I'm automatically interested in this. And this one's coming out August 31st, so we still have quite a bit of time to wait on this one. But ooh, this next one is Dream Girl by Laura Lippman. This one comes out June 22nd. This one has caught my eye because I've been interested in this author, but I've never read any of her books yet. But this one sounds really good because it says it's a complex tale of psychological suspense with echoes of misery involving a novelist incapacitated by injury who is plagued by mysterious phone calls. So like, the comparison to Misery definitely has me intrigued, and the fact that it's following a novelist. And then we have Her Dark Lies by J.T. Ellison. This is another one of those like, there's a wedding and something happens, like at the wedding of the year a killer needs no invitation. And honestly, like, I'm such a basic bitch, like with that kind of tagline, like I'll read this, you know? This one actually sounds more like the guest list than the other one does to me, because this one says it takes place on an island, and then it says a raging storm descends, the power goes out, and the real terror begins. Like, this one sounds like it's going to be very similar to the guest list. This one comes out March 9th, so actually that's not too far away. Ooh, next up we have Hairpin Bridge by Taylor Adams. This is the same author as No Exit, which is why this book is on my list. I'm very, very excited. It sounds like it's following this girl who has this estranged twin sister who drove to a remote bridge 60 miles outside of Missoula, Montana, and jumped 200 feet to her death. At least that is the official police version. So it sounds like something might have happened to her on this bridge. I don't even know. I'm so excited. Taylor Adams? Hell yes. And this next one is The Maidens by Alex Michaelides, and this is one that I'm incredibly excited about. It's coming out in June. I'm excited for this one because The Silent Patient is one of my favorite thrillers that I've ever read, so this is his second book that he's coming out with. And this one sounds especially interesting too because it weaves together Greek mythology, murder, and obsession, and it sounds like it's going to be very like dark academia vibes, which I'm really excited to see him do a take on that. It takes place at a university. Next up we have The Hunting Wives by May Cobb, and this is another one that I'm so excited about. This one sounds like it has major like Big Little Lies energy. It says the hunting wives share more than target practice, martinis, and bad behavior in this novel of obsession, seduction, and murder. But see, this one sounds so interesting because it says when the body of a teenage girl is discovered in the woods where the hunting wives meet, Sophie finds herself in the middle of a murder investigation and her life spiraling out of control. See, this one comes out May 18th, so like maybe this one could be the June pick for the book club. I don't know. I'm just so excited about this one. I love all the like lipsticks on the front cover and the way the like last one is a freaking bullet. Like how cool is that? And Riley Sager blurbed it, so like that just makes me even more excited about it. Next up, of course, we have You Love Me by Caroline Kepnes. This is the third book in the like Joe Goldberg You trilogy. And this one comes out April 6th, and I'm so freaking excited for this one. I really hope that this one can live up to, you know, the series so far because I really loved the first book. The second book was just okay for me, but I really loved the second season of the show. So I'm hoping that this one is great. And I don't even know anything about it except that it follows Joe Goldberg, and holy shit, apparently it takes place in the Pacific Northwest, which like holy shit, that is so cool because that's where I'm at. And then next up we have For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. This one looks like it comes out July 20th. And this is one that I'm also very excited about because I've really enjoyed Samantha Downing's other books so far. And this one also, it says it takes place at a prestigious private school, complete with interfering parents, overeager students, and one teacher who just wants to teach them all a lesson. Of course, we have The Minders by John Mars, which this one is coming out February 16th, so it might be out by the time this video goes up. And this one is the book club pick for the book troop for the month of March. If you haven't heard, it got changed to The Minders by John Mars. I'm so excited because John Mars is one of my favorite authors, and this one says, in this electrifying near-future thriller, 5 strangers guard government secrets, but only 4 can be trusted. And John Mars is like one of my favorite authors that writes these like sci-fi thrillers. Like he's really good at writing these almost like futuristic type thrillers. The next book on this list is a horror book, and it's The Final Girls Support Group by Grady Hendrix, and this one is expected to publish July 13th. And anything Grady Hendrix related I'm automatically interested because I've read I think 2 of his books now, and I like that this one says it's an homage to slasher films, so like I don't know, it sounds really cool. We have The Drowning Kind by Jennifer McMahon. This one's coming out April 6th, so pretty soon here. This one I'm excited about, mainly just because it's a horror novel by Jennifer McMahon, who wrote The Winter People, which is now one of my new favorite books ever. My friend Matt recently read this book as an ARC, and he really, really enjoyed it, so ever since he's said that he loved it so much, I'm just even more excited for it. And then we have this book, The Plot, that is coming out this year. And this one sounds so freaking interesting because it says the plot is a propulsive read about a story too good not to steal and the writer who steals it. And it's about this guy who was once a promising young novelist and now he's teaching. And then his student, his most arrogant student, announces that he's writing this book. And the premise of the book sounds like really, really interesting, and he hates to admit that it sounds like it's going to be really good when he hears the plot. But then he finds out that that student dies, and so he decides to write the book, like, and just like steal his idea and use the plot. And then he starts getting these notes saying you are a thief, and he thinks like somebody knows what he's been up to, and it sounds so freaking interesting. I love books that follow writers and especially thrillers, and this is from the same creator of that HBO show The Undoing. Apparently it's like the same writers, so I'm very excited. Sign me up. And then we have this cute, adorable book called Finlay Donovan is Killing It by Elle Cosimano. And this one just sounds like it's going to be so cute. This one actually just came out February 2nd, so it is already published. And then this one is just about this novelist who she like writes thriller novels, I think, or like writes like some kind of thriller series. And then she gets involved in like a real life murder investigation, I think. So it just sounds so cute and so soft. And then we have Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney, which is publishing much later this year. Yeah, it looks like this one is publishing September 7th. This one I don't know too much about, besides the fact that it's following these two people who are married and like you think you know your wife or your husband and you don't. Alice Feeney's books are just always so fascinating to me, and even if I don't enjoy some of her books, I always will gravitate towards her new releases and want to read them. And then we have My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. This one's coming out August 31st. Stephen Graham Jones has written some pretty iconic horror novels recently that I've read, and so I'm pretty excited to read this one for the same reasons. It says, in her quickly gentrifying rural lake town, Jade sees recent events only her encyclopedic knowledge of horror films could have prepared her for in this latest novel from the Jordan Peele of horror literature. See, I love that they call Stephen Graham Jones the Jordan Peele of horror literature because I just feel like that's so accurate. And then we have The Last House on Needless Street, and this one just sounds so interesting. It's coming out March 18th, so not too far away, but it just says this is the story of a serial killer, a stolen child, revenge, death, an ordinary house at the end of an ordinary street. And this one's kind of like a horror gothic mystery thriller. I don't even know, but it sounds incredibly interesting. Ooh, and then we have this one, The Taking of Jake Livingston by Ryan Douglas, and this is one that I'm super excited about. It's coming out July 13th. This one says it's Get Out meets Daniel Vega in this YA social thriller where survival is not a guarantee. And this is actually one that I'm considering having as a selection for the booktube this year because it just sounds so interesting, and I know it's like a young adult thriller horror novel, but it's also queer, which makes me even more interested in it, and it says it has ghosts like in this genre. Sidebar over here, it says paranormal ghosts, so that makes me even more excited about it. So even though this one is young adult, I still think the description sounds so freaking fun, and I think it would be a fun time to read this book for the book club, so let me know your thoughts. And then the last one that's like a thriller horror book is Velvet Was the Night by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. This book just got announced very recently, and I'm really excited for this because it's the same author as Mexican Gothic, and this is coming out August 17th, and it looks like this one's mainly genred under historical fiction, thriller, mystery. But it's still like, oh my god, this cover is so freaking beautiful. It takes place in 1970s Mexico City. It says a riveting noir about a daydreaming secretary, a lonesome enforcer, and the mystery of the missing woman that brings them together. Okay, now onto the romance portion of this video. There aren't nearly as many romances on this list as there were of like thriller and horror stuff, but there are some romance books coming out this year that I'm so incredibly excited about. So this first one here is one that I'm excited about, but I'm also hesitant about because it's Second First Impressions by Sally Thorne. This one I'm mainly excited about because I really loved The Hating Game, obviously is one of my favorite books of all time, but then her second book that came out, 99% Mine, I really didn't like that one at all. So I'm kind of like curious about this one, hesitant about it. I'll go into it very cautiously and hope that I enjoy it. And then we have The Heart Principle by Helen Huang coming out, which this one, I've been waiting a really long time for this one to come out because I thought it was supposed to come out last year and then it didn't, and I was sad about it. But now it seems like it's coming out August 17th this year, and this one I'm so excited because it's following Quan, who was my favorite character from The Kiss Quotient and The Bride Test. Yeah, I'm just very excited for The Heart Principle. I just adore this romance series so freaking much. And then we have If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy. It sounds adorable, and it's also a part of this new series that this author is doing called Meant to Be. So this one is following this girl Cindy, who's like low-key Cinderella, and that's why the book is called If the Shoe Fits, and it's like a cute rom-com take on Cinderella. She is working for her stepmother, who happens to be the executive producer for America's favorite reality show, Before Midnight. When a spot on the show needs filling ASAP, Cindy volunteers, hoping it might help jumpstart her fashion career. Turns out being the only plus-size woman on a reality dating competition makes a splash, and soon Cindy becomes a body positivity icon for women everywhere. Oh my gosh, this one's coming out in August and I just can't wait. I love like fairy tale retelling stuff, but in like a modern new way, and I love that this is going to be like a new romance series. It just sounds like it's going to be so cute. Okay, and then we have Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers, which this is like one of my highly most anticipated books. I actually have it in my possession, and it's the next book that I'm planning on reading, but I wanted to include it on this list because I haven't actually read it yet. And this one's coming out February 23rd, so like literally right around the corner. It's currently a book of the month selection for the month of February, so you can get this book right now. But this one I'm mainly excited about because it's a female romance, and the main character, Grace, has a PhD in astronomy, and that just sounds like everything I've ever wanted from a book. It's like so cool too because it's like an accidental Vegas marriage thing, I'm pretty sure is what happens between them. Like they accidentally get married to each other in Vegas. And then I love that it says it takes place in New York for the summer, where she's gonna be like trying to get to know the wife that she barely knows. And then we have Everything After by Jill Santopolo. This one is coming out March 9th, so like right around the corner. And this one, it sounds like it's gonna be like typical like Jill Santopolo because it's like two loves, two choices, one chance to follow her dreams. And it's following this girl who had this love 15 years ago of this guy named Rob, I guess, and now she's a psychologist at NYU, which is really cool. I don't know, and the top little description thing here just says the light we lost mixes with the touch of Daisy Jones and the Six. So I'm like, excuse me, what does that mean? I don't know, I'm excited about it, I'll read it. And then we have Isn't It Bromantic by Lisa K. Adams. This is another one that I'm excited about, but I'm also cautious going into because like I loved the Bromance Book Club so much, but then the next two books I just didn't care for a ton. But I am excited for this one because this one is following the character Vlad, who is like the Russian character in the Bromance Book Club, so I'm excited to like see his story. I think it's gonna be real cute. My gosh, and then we have Hang the Moon by Alexandria Bellafleur, and this one's coming out May 25th. And this one is from the author who wrote Written in the Stars, which was one of my favorite romances of last year. And this one is following the brother, Darcy's brother, from Written in the Stars. It's another own voices queer rom-com about a hopeless romantic who vows to show his childhood crush that romance isn't dead by recreating iconic dates from his favorite films. What the heck? And I think this one is still queer because I'm pretty sure one of the characters is bisexual, but I'm not sure which one. And then we have The Intimacy Experiment by Rosie Danon. Honestly, I don't know too much about this one. The only reason why I put this on the list is because this author wrote The Roommates, which ended up being one of my favorite romances of last year. And then we have People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This is the author of Beach Read, so just for that reason alone, I'm excited to read it. Even though I didn't love Beach Read, I still really like the way that this author writes romance. With 1 week to win back the best friend she just might be in love with, a travel writer plans for the trip of a lifetime. Okay, well, I didn't realize it was going to be following like best friends, so I don't know if this is going to be my thing or not, but I do love romances that follow writers, so maybe there's hope. Oh my god, and then we have One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. This one might be my most anticipated romance of the year. Like, this one's definitely my top 3 for sure. This one comes out on June 1st. And this one, you know, Casey McQuiston wrote Red, White, and Royal Blue, which is one of my favorite romances of all time. And this one is going to be her take on a female romance, and it involves like time travel or something. It says a 23-year-old realizes her subway crush is displaced from 1970s Brooklyn, and she must do everything in her power to help her and try not to fall in love with the girl lost in time before it's too late. It sounds so cute. Oh my god, I'm so excited. And then we have Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert, which this one is also probably in my top 3 most anticipated, because this one is the 3rd book in the Brown sisters like trilogy. Get a Life Chloe Brown and Take a Hint Dani Brown were 2 of my favorite romances that I read last year, so I'm so highly anticipating this 3rd one. This one comes out March 9th, so it's actually like right around the corner. I didn't realize it was coming out that soon. It says, in Act Your Age, Eve Brown, the flightiest Brown sister crashes into the life of an uptight B&B owner and has him falling hard, literally. And then these last 2 books that I have in this like romance section are these 2 young adult books that sound so freaking cute. So this first one is called May the Best Man Win, and this one's coming out May 18th. And this one, it says a trans boy enters a throwdown battle for the title of Homecoming King with the boy he dumped last summer. And this one is a YA. It sounds so cute, and like, look at this cover. I can't deal with it. Okay, love the colors on this cover. I love everything about this cover. But this one just sounds so cool because the main character, Jeremy, was the cheer captain and student body president, and he just recently came out as a trans boy. His ex, Lucas, is the football star and the head of the homecoming committee. He's trying to figure out his life after his older brother's funeral and the loss of his long-term girlfriend who turned out to be a boy. But when Jeremy threatens to break his heart and steal his crown, Lucas kickstarts a plot to sabotage Jeremy's campaign. When both boys take their rivalry too far, the dance is on the verge of being cancelled. To save homecoming, they'll have to face the hurt they're both hiding. Oh my god, it sounds so cute. And then this last one is The Charm Offensive, which this one comes out September 7th, so it's not for a really long time. Actually, is this one YA? Oh, no, it's not YA. I don't know why. I don't know why I assumed it was YA, but this one says it's a romantic comedy reminiscent of Red, White, and Royal Blue and One to Watch. An awkward tech wonderkind of a reality dating show goes off script when sparks fly with his producer. So it's about this guy who gets chosen to essentially be like the Bachelor or whatever, and then he starts to fall for his male producer. Like, holy shit, this is everything I would have ever wanted from a book like this. I don't know why, I love books that deal with like reality dating shows like this, like One to Watch and like If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy that I mentioned earlier. I love books that have like reality dating shows that are like similar to The Bachelor in them, but I've always wanted one like this where like it's a dude bachelor or like even a female or whatever, and then they fall for someone of the same sex unexpectedly. Like, oh, I'm so excited. Right, and then I just have 7 other books on this list that didn't really fit into any of the previous genres like thrillers or romance or horror. These are all just kind of different outside of that genre of books that I'm really excited about still. This first one is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. This one's coming out May 4th, and this one I'm excited about because it's Andy Weir who wrote The Martian, which is like one of my favorite sci-fi books of all time. I'll pretty much read any like sci-fi books that this guy comes out with just because I really enjoy his writing for the most part. This one just says Ryland Grace is the sole survivor on a desperate last chance mission, and if he fails, humanity and the earth itself will perish. I don't know too much about it. I'm just really excited about it. It kind of sounds like it's going to have a premise that's similar to Ad Astra, which also makes me excited about it. And then we have this young adult book called Switch by A.S. King. I haven't actually read anything by A.S. King yet, but I'm always really interested in all of her books and I just keep forgetting to pick them up. But this one sounds really, really interesting. I also love this cover. Can I just say I love the cover. I love the simplicity of it and I love the colors. Sounds really cool. It's like a young adult contemporary magical realism type of thing because it says this teenage girl from Pennsylvania who lives in a world that has become trapped in a fold in time and space where real time has stopped but humanity continues to mark artificial time based on a website. Dude, I don't even know what this means. I'm just so excited. I love books that deal with like time in any way like that, like time travel or like stuck in time, frozen in time. I don't know, anything like that. I'm so intrigued. We have In the Quick by Kate Hope Day. This one, oh my god, this cover is stunning. I love the pink. I love the astronaut vibes. It says a young, ambitious female astronaut's life is upended by a fiery love affair that threatens the rescue of a lost crew in this brilliantly imagined novel in the tradition of Station 11 and The Martian. This one comes out March 2nd. I'm very excited about it. I think the main character's name is June, which freaking love that name so much. And then it's also like LGBT queer, and I think it's about her having a relationship with this other girl that's also an astronaut, I guess. I don't know. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I already requested this one from Penguin Random House because I'm like, I need to read that now. And then we have All's Well by Mona Awad. This one is only on my list because Mona Awad wrote Bunny, which ended up being one of my favorite books of last year. And this one, it sounds so interesting. It's coming out August 3rd, and it says it's a darkly funny novel about a theater professor suffering from chronic pain who, in the process of staging a troubled production of Shakespeare's most maligned play, suddenly and miraculously recovers. So, like, I don't even know what this book is going to be about. It sounds very random, but it's categorized under horror, mystery, thriller, all that good stuff. So I guess I should have included it in that, but I didn't realize that until now, so sorry. And then we have The Other Me, and this one's coming out August 10th. This one sounds so interesting. I guess this one is a thriller and mystery too. God damn it. I'm just not even paying attention, I guess. This one says, an edge of your seat story of a failed artist who accidentally opens a door to an alternate reality where she never pursued her dreams and must uncover the forces behind the switch before the time runs out. And again, hi, if you know my reading taste, I love books that have alternate realities. It's one of the things that I seek out the most in books and that I want more of in my reading life, and that is alternate realities. Something happening, like seeing a different decision a character could have made played out in a different way. Oh my god, I love it so much. So very excited. Just for that reason alone, I'm probably gonna read this one. And then we have Night Bitch by Rachel Yoder, and this one sounds crazy. This one's coming out July 20th, and this one, it's already getting adapted into a movie with, like, I'm pretty sure it's Amy Adams. This one says, in this blazingly smart and voracious debut, an artist turned stay-at-home mom becomes convinced she's turning into a dog. Like, excuse me, what? It just says contemporary, magical realism, literary fiction, fantasy. Like, I don't even know what these genres are. I'm so curious about this one. It just sounds crazy. Like, what? She's convinced she's turning into a dog? And then this last one is one that I'm so excited about. Definitely one of my most anticipated of the whole year. I saved one of the best for last, and that is Faye Far Away by Helen Fisher. This one actually came out January 26th, so it's already out in the world. I haven't read it yet though, but this one is a debut novel for fans of The Time Traveler's Wife and Outlander. It follows a grown woman who travels back in time to be reunited with the mother she lost when she was a child. And it's a historical fiction time travel type of book. This one honestly sounds like it's gonna be very similar to The Dream Daughter, which is I guess why I'm personally like so excited for it, because it's like about a woman going back in time to like be friends with her mom who she lost when she was a kid. Like, that sounds so beautiful. Emotionally gripping and sweet, Faye Far Away is a brilliant exploration of the grief associated with unimaginable loss and the magic of being healed by love. It sounds like I'm gonna cry a lot when I read this, and it's just gonna be so beautiful, and I think I'm saving it for like when I need a good cry, you know? Right, well, those are all of my most anticipated books of 2021. Please let me know if you are also excited about any of the books on this list, or if there are any that I didn't mention that you are super excited about that you think I should know about. And also let me know if there were any books on this list that you didn't even know existed until I mentioned it in this video and now you're excited about it, because that's always fun to know. And yeah, let me know all the books that you're excited about this year. What are your most anticipated books of 2021? And thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye.